Hey, what's up, everybody? BDL44 coming at you with another video. Yeah, I got more to say about the Laker game. Not as it pertains to the game itself, but just overall where we're at right now as a organization. It was just a real letdown. I love what I seen from the team in terms of fight. We've shown pockets at a time throughout the season where we've had fight, but overall, I'm just at a point where I don't know how how best to move forward. And here's what I mean by that. For the rest of the season, if there's an opportunity for us to retain our pick, we need it. We really need it. And I'm rooting for us to win. First of all, because I don't know that even if we lose out, that we would solidify uh, that top 10 protection. I don't know that we would trigger that, um, because there's a lot of bad teams out there who are also in contention to get a lottery pick this season. But because we have so little assets and because we're in such disarray with our entire situation, if we can turn this into a lottery pick, man, that would be a W for our organization. Problem is, I'm really enjoying these last two games where we've played well, and I've rooted for us to win, and I want to continue to compete. I think every season LeBron James plays in needs to be fought for. I think we owe it to him and his legacy as one of the great players to ever play this game. I think we owe it to ourselves and what we've sacrificed to make all of this happen. And I think we owe it to Anthony Davis, who we've traded everything for, even though I didn't necessarily agree with that. Um, Nevertheless, we owe it to everybody involved, um, to try to continue to compete and see this thing all the way through, especially given the fact that this pick is, in fact, um, a lottery swap, So we don't necessarily even consider it. And so at this point, it's like, well, do we? You know, Mathematically, we are like 11th, I guess, if you want to say we're the bottom 11 teams. We're down there, we're in a position to where we could possibly retain our pick if we just go forward with the tank mission. And as a fan, I just don't know how to feel about that. I don't know how to turn the switch off. I don't know how to see that as the better option, even though I see it as the better option. I mean, I don't think I see all the angles. I think it's what I'm here to tell you guys. There's got to be more to it than what I'm seeing here, um, because I just don't want to look at it and say, okay, we have Anthony Davis who's hurt, LeBron James who's playing regardless. He's going to play through just for his own personal reasons. Either it's going to play for us or he's going to play for somebody. He's playing. So, and he's playing well, What we saw tonight was excellent. What we saw from last night was great as well. I mean, you love having him playing at this level. But how do you go forward? How do you choose to rebuild when the option of you making the mistake, you know what I mean? Where the scenario, rather, of you making the mistake and not building properly is there. You look at this front office and you ask yourself, do you really believe that they're going to make the right decisions going forward if LeBron James leaves? Do you see them making all the right plays to get the best roster in place to win a championship? I don't even know who they are. I think that's the issue. There's no clear understanding of who's running things with the Laker organization right now. So at this point, for the immediate future, one would think going all in for LeBron James is probably your best option because you don't have another option without him. I mean, sure, for me, in my mind, I'm like, okay, well, you just hire this person and that person, and you get this, and you do all this. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, but is that what they're thinking? Do they have a plan? Because that's what matters. And I don't know that they do. So for them, maybe the best option is to just go all in for LeBron James. And if that's the case, what I value so much, which is that 27 pick, maybe for them, it makes sense to mortgage it for today's LeBron, especially when you consider what your future looks like if you remain in cahoots with Clutch, and all the different prospects that could come through your organization because of that partnership, and not wanting it to end poorly. So it's one of those situations where it's like it's tricky. The more I think about the situation the Lakers are in, the more I realize there's obviously more to see. But even from the outside looking in, it's very complicated. You can see why it's so much politic ball going on. You can see why guys are not necessarily stopping the bleeding in certain situations because they don't want to step on people's toes. And it gets very, very webbed. So that's the unfortunate aspect of just being the Lakers, And I feel the same way if I was on LeBron's side of things as well. It's the unfortunate aspect of being one of these super entities in sports. It's not just a person. You're a whole corporation to yourself. The Lakers are an entire corporation to themselves, as is LeBron. So they have to move accordingly. And I think this is just where the rubber meets the road as it pertains to, the politics just took over. And we forgot about the X's and O's of the game, and you got to get back to the roots. You got to get back to what matters, and that's the sweet science of basketball. And I think LeBron James, that's not a problem for him. And I think the Lakers need to figure that aspect out themselves, though. They need to figure out what matters and try to figure out how they can have that organizational structure, so that there will be no question of who's in charge. There is no question of who's going to make decisions. There is no wavering in belief that they can get it done without LeBron James. You know what I mean? So as I move forward, I'm trying to figure out how best to view this, because on one hand, I view this as if I'm going to then take over the Lakers and they are going to move as I would have them move, as to which I have great confidence. I would make good decisions. But the people in charge, I don't know who's in charge. That's the moral of the story. So how best to view this as a fan? I don't know. But I know this. I don't have a whole lot of confidence in the Lakers without LeBron James to make good decisions right now. I don't. They're going to have to earn that trust again. And it's sad because we've gone through this more than once in my lifetime. This is just like the second or third time where they've had to try to regain my trust as a fan in them making good decisions. With that being said, they've played great these last two games. You're encouraged by that, but you just hate to see a game like tonight be one of many games throughout this season where you could have won had you just had size on the basketball floor. And we talk about this every single day, and I think it gets to a point where everyone's tired of talking about the Lakers. Everyone, fans, opponents, I think everybody's tired of the relevancy that we have when we don't put forth the type of product on the floor that's worth talking about. It becomes an irritation, not something that's extravagant to speak about, not something exciting, but something you roll your eyes like, here they go again talking about this bad team. That's not good energy. You don't want that. That's the other guys down the hall. That's who they are. That's not who we are. And I think the Lakers need to just get back to who they are, and do things that'll get them to being the excellent organization that they are deep down. We are who we've been, but we're not displaying that right now. So I think if we want to do things properly, we need to understand what it means to dominate this era. Recognize that we're not learn the error, master the error, and then lead the charge into the next. And I don't think you can do that by reaching into the past for players. I don't think you can do that by being hesitant about who runs the show on the court, is in terms of the coaching and holding on to guys that you don't believe in. Um, you know, I think that's it. So if we have everything in order, if money's not an issue, then the Lakers need to just go forward and get what they need. Get what they need. Use your name to attract the best and the brightest. That's what you do. Um, you don't overthink it and say, "Oh my God, I have to try to." No, let the Lakers sell itself. They're the Lakers. Who wants to run the Lakers? If you're the best, come here. If you're the best GM, come here. Show us. Prove that. You know what I mean? This is the place where you make your name. You know what I mean? And so that's how the Lakers need to play this thing. I think they need to just let the Lakers sell itself, bring themselves the best people, the brightest stars in the various fields, and just go forward. Go forward. I think the Lakers will have to be patient. Our fan base, Laker Nation, we're going to be in this battle for the proper rebuild. It may not go right the first time. This could be a situation where it could take a long time for them to get it right. Or we'll have a one-and-done championship situation in between some very tough years. Because you just see the prospect of how things are going. Maybe you get lucky and we strike it rich getting some great prospects somehow. But, I mean, it's such a competitive league. You got to appreciate championships as they come. That's why the 2020 championship needs more respect on this channel. I don't give it enough credit. It is hard to get championships, and you don't want to just poo-poo the fact that we got that one and what it took to get it, including the trade. But all in all, you just want the team to be better today. You want reliable players, and you just want to see us respect certain things that we're not giving a lot of respect to. Size, youth, speed, defense. These things, that's what the Lakers are about, man. We've always had those things. And so, yeah, that's pretty much what I want to say, man. Hopefully the Lakers get it together. I like how they've been playing. I just wish we had everything we need. BDF44, thank y'all for watching. I'm out.